Hi guys, this is Wireheadking, and today I'm bringing you part 2 of the Rundown Prison tutorial series. So in the last part, this is what we got up to. We've got the staircase and the rails and all the general basic shapes. Now what we have to do is go into some more detail, make it look more worn down in some areas and destroy it, add in a few bits and pieces, and of course we need to get to work on this ceiling. Because it's not all smooth like that in the original render. Okay, so first things first, I noticed something when editing part 1. I forgot to get rid of this thing, this edge loop right here, and let's get rid of that as well. And wait, what's that connected to? That can stay how it is. If we just delete these two vertex loops, so just get this and plug this into the post a little bit more, then that will work just fine. Okay, and yeah, there we go. So, sorry about that, this is something I noticed. Okay, so now let's get on with destroying things. So first of all, what I want to do is work on these balconies, because as you can see, which one's a better balcony to look at? I guess right here. It's not, perfectly, right angled cuboid shaped. It sort of curves and sort of decayed over there. And by the way, a lot of the decaying, like on the floor and pretty much everywhere, it's not been modelled in. It's just displacements, like not even modified displacements, just displacements in the materials and the shaders. So not much work has to be done. So don't worry. So with this, what we're going to do is just use this how it is, and we're going to let's add in loop cuts, just enough so that we have quite a few faces all along the balcony. Sort of even them out, try and make them as square as you can, like that. That's pretty square, and just a few going horizontally, and the ones down here are only really important just for extra tiny detail. Okay, so somewhere around there should work fine. Alright, if we now solo this, or make it local by pressing the slash key that I mentioned from the last tutorial, it's the slash key above the number pad. Press that, it'll go into a sort of local view like this. It just hides everything else. It's pretty useful. If we go to sculpt mode, and set this to subtract, what we can do is we can just sort of draw on or draw off the bits that we don't want, and it's mainly just this edge here. So we can just go through this, so just go along the edge like so, and we're going to go all the way. I mean, with the last one I sort of tried to see if I could get away with not going down here, but it didn't really work. Okay, so once you've done that, it looks a bit weird, so we're just going to smooth it all off at the end of that. And okay, there we go. Now that's pretty much there. Actually, we might, if we just go back to the brush, we might just sort of scrape off it. Ooh, what's that? Oh, go back to subtract. I'm just going to scrape off a little bit from the top. What has happened to this brush? It's useless. Set the strength up a bit. Yeah, here we go. We just chip away a little bit at the just the top. Just put your brush down it just once, like so, and then smooth that up. Okay. Then that should look fine. We might even oh, that edge is looking a bit weird. Okay, and we just maybe add on maybe a little bit. Just ooh, this is a bit weird. Okay, something like that. I mean, you don't want it to be like just completely smoothed off. You still want to have like a very defined kind of shape going on, but generally this is sort of okay. Alright, and let's just smooth that off Alright, so something like that should be fine. If we now come out of that, you might find that the array is sort of screwed up, but that's okay. We can just bring it back down, like so. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Did it wrong. There we go, that's what we wanted. Cool. Alright, so as you can probably guess, we need to give it smooth shading, and last time I gave it an edge split, but in this case I don't actually think it will need one. We'll see. I think what we might need to just push this back a little bit, like so that it's still connected, because we kind of wore away at it a bit. Alright, so that's looking pretty good, and that's all we need to do for the balcony. The other bits and pieces is the staircase. As you can see, all the stairs are still firmly fitted on, and that's just not good enough. We need to remove the perfectness of these. We need to get rid of them. So if we just duplicate these and then just move them off to press Shift M. Hold on. I thought it was just M, but apparently not. Oh, it's because we're in local view. Yeah, if you press M, then we can move them off to the last layer, like that. But wait, hold on, that's the... right, okay, this is weird. This is weird. I don't quite know what's going on. Wait, is that just one of them now? Right, come out of that. Oh, right, it's because we're down in this layer. Okay, if we come back over here, then there should have been some still here. Hold on. Okay, these ones need to come back to layer 1. Okay, sorry about that, there was just some confusion there. Basically you want one copy of the staircase here and one over here. Reason being is if we screw something up to the point where we need to restore this version, we can just go back over here. So anything that we're going to be making major adjustments to will be moved over to this layer. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is, first of all, if we just duplicate just one step, so click on one, or select one vertex on one of the steps, hit Shift D to duplicate, and then press P and hit selection, and then just move this off to layer 2 for now. The reason why I've done that is we're going to chop off some of these steps, and instead of actually, like, you know, moving them down onto the floor, we're just going to count how many we take off of each staircase and then just scatter the steps around the floor, sort of roughly where they would have landed. Alright, so what we need to do is apply this mirror modifier. Okay, and select some random steps. So, you know, let's have that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Press Ctrl L, press X, and delete vertices. And on this staircase, let's maybe get rid of 7 stairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's the top. You don't get rid of that. 6, 7. Okay, now let's go for that step. Okay. Ctrl L to select everything that's connected to those vertices. Press X, hit delete. All right. So that's pretty cool. We've removed some steps now. All we have to do now is get the ones that we've still got and just screw them up. So if we just select maybe a few of them at random, like so. If we just set this down here from median point to individual origin. In fact, first of all, let me show you what median point does. Median point means they will rotate around each other, like that, sort of like so this one will rotate round here because this is the center of all the selected geometry, so they're going to rotate round like that. What individual origins does is now they will rotate based on their individual origins, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is if we double tap R, we can just, you know, very slightly rotate them a bit to make them kind of wonky. And now if we just select some, you know, random stairs again, some of them will be the same ones that we rotated earlier, that's fine. Some of them we don't want to rotate them at all. so that's also fine. But if we just do this maybe a few times, just up and down the staircase, we should get some pretty randomized results. So just, you know, random stairs each time. Don't even pay attention to which ones you're selecting. Okay, let me rotate this on that way. Alright, there we go. And of course some of them will probably still be perfectly intact. That again is fine. One thing though is you don't want them to be too intact, because, you know, too damaged, otherwise it would just be unrealistic. So, you know, you won't have like a step completely going crazy like that. So, you know, just subtle, because remember, these things are made out of steel, and, you know, as wonderful as time is at destroying things, steel takes a lot of time to decay. So, you know, we have to be a bit subtle. I mean, really, you know, some of the damage we're going to do wouldn't happen naturally, but we're going to use some creative licensing to make it happen. So same for this staircase. Again, just select some at random, leave individual origins selected, and just, you know, rotate them a bit. We're double tapping R to get this whole 3D rotation thing. Okay, another random few steps. Maybe rotate them up there. Okay. Okay, good. I'm just checking. I'm still recording, so I remember I paused it right at the beginning because I needed some water, and wasn't sure if I clicked resume. So, there we go. Maybe if we could make another sweep up there, but it's pointless. And as you can see, this staircase is a bit crooked. In fact, that step there is a bit over the top. I'm just gonna manually just go in and sort of move that one to a more stable position. I think probably selected that one a bit more than the others. So actually you can hear some creaking thing. Apparently the little slidey thing that my keyboard's on, my keyboard and mouse, is creaking a bit extra today, so that's strange. Okay, so right, now that we've done that, that's cool. The staircases are almost done actually. I just remember we've got to position these around. Hide or get rid of this mirror modifier, absolutely useless. Let's just go to object, transform origin to geometry with this step selected. What this does is it means it will rotate around its origin. Okay, we can bring this back to layer 1, and yeah, all we have to do is just move this down to the floor, maybe rotate it, duplicate it, another rotation, more duplication. These steps are different shapes to the original ones. My original ones were kind of sort of longer and thinner. They weren't quite so fat, so positioning these is going to be a little bit difficult. Although they're right at the back, and, you know, they're covered in fog, you can probably barely see. In fact, you can't see the steps from the original one here. Just wondering if these steps look okay. Yeah, they look alright, I guess. So that's 5 of them. I know we got rid of like 7 or something on these, but, you know, 1 or 2 of them can go missing. Like, you know, an animal could have got in and taken one. They love shiny things, so you never know. But yeah, you don't want to go overboard. Or, you know, maybe one of them had a bumpy ride on the way down. Like it fell off maybe this step up here. Maybe fell off, hit a railing, so it just flew off. So, you know, you can be crazy, but just, you know, you don't have to be stupidly realistic by having each step counted for down here. Just put how many you think looks good. So something like that. Okay, so that's the stairs done. Next thing on the agenda is the bars on the prison cells. Now this is one of my favourite bits. I mean, it's tedious, but the technique is pretty cool. Okay, so if we let's see, if we duplicate the prison cells and move them off to this layer back here, like with the original staircases, in fact, if we come over here, we can apply. Should we apply all the arrays? Yeah, we have to apply all the arrays, really, don't we? Yeah, let's apply all the arrays. In fact, no. What happens if we select just the bars and make them their own object? So I don't remember the exact deal. So I remember I did that. I don't know if it screwed up the arrays. It didn't screw up the arrays. Okay, good. We're in business. I think. Why isn't there? Did it screw up? Screwed up the arrays. Wait, did it? It did. It screwed up the arrays. Okay, we can't do that. I mean, we could adjust it so that it works, but I think really what we should do is just apply. Well, no, if we select the bars while it's still in the array, like so, then come out of edit mode and apply all the arrays and the mirrors and whatever else. As you can see, all the bars are still selected, like that. Alright, that's exactly what we need. So if we now press P and then hit selection, then the bars are their own objects. Alright, now what we're going to do is, even though I don't think this would happen over time, really, is we're going to just basically do what we did with the steps. You know, get rid of them and scatter them about and bend them, and well, we didn't actually bend the steps, but you know, we're going to go a bit crazy. We're going to pretend the Incredible Hulk came in and just smashed the place up. So if we select just one vertex on one of these hundreds of bars and come down and press Shift G, it will select similar things. So if we select similar things on the normals, what we'll do is we'll get basically anything with similar normals on the bars. So you know, we'll get, what's this, like, you know, an edge loop every now and then on a bar. So that's pretty cool. Now if we press Ctrl L, every bar will be selected, so we can't really do that. However, if we then go to select random and then change this from select to deselect, as you can see, if we increase this %, we can deselect, you know, let's set it to 80%. So now only 20% of those vertices that we had selected now selected. If we now press Ctrl L, not all the bars are selected. So just some of them are. It seems to be most of them though. So if I press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, however it's pronounced, and just try again. Maybe allow a bit less, and then press Ctrl I. Well, sorry. Once we've got all of these selected, press Ctrl L, then press Ctrl I, and then just any bars that look sort of clumped together, just, you know, use the box select tool to deselect them. So, you know, I think if you get any more than 3 together, you should probably start deselecting. I think that'll be okay. And now what we're going to do is just press X and delete them. Okay, now we've got loads of holes everywhere, or loads of gaps in the bars. But that's cool. So, now that we've got that, or in fact, instead of deleting them, how about we... Actually, no, just delete them. Go ahead and just delete them. Okay, so now what we need to do is bend the bars that are left. Although I'm just going to do what I did with the steps and just duplicate one bar and just go P selection and just move it off to that layer. That's the point, we never brought the steps back. Oh no, yeah we did. We brought the steps back into layer 1. Okay, cool. Alright, so now if we just do pretty much the same thing, if we just press Shift G with one of these vertices selected, and go to, was it amount of, yeah, here we go, amount of connecting edges, you'll now get just these middle sections of all the bars, and that's fine. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to select random. I'm going to deselect most of them, and the reason why I'm going for like 90% and it's still got, you know, at least half the bars or whatever selected is because remember we've got, what's this, 8 plus 8, that's 16 vertices for each bar. So, you know, I mean, we should be 1/16 away from 100 really, but 91% is good enough. If we then press Ctrl L, and then, is that too many? No, if we then press Ctrl I, these are going to be the bars that remain intact, and then we just press H and we hide them so that we can't damage them. Now if we just select one of these vertices again, Shift G, amount of connecting edges, here we go. Now we can begin screwing things up. And the reason why we included these two little edge loops in the middle is so that now we can bend the bars. That's pretty cool. So if we go in side view, if we just wiggle them to the left, so press G, Y, and just very subtly move them. I went a bit crazy the first time I did this, and someone said, you know, well, they actually said the Hulk's come in and smash the place. So, you know, just be very subtle with it. You don't have to go crazy. Alright, and now that you've done that, you can go to select, random, deselect, Control L. Too many. If we go to deselect and just deselect more, 98%, that sounds pretty cool. Control L, these are going to be the bars that are kept safe now. Select another random vertex, Shift G, amount of connecting edges. Let me just move it. Move them off to there. And then select random 98% again, and we hide them, and just keep on going basically. Just keep moving them and maybe change them on the x-axis a little bit, sort of, you know, vary it up a little. Don't be too hardcore with the x-axis, but, you know, maybe include a little bit, and that'll be fine. Okay. Alright, and we just keep on going. Select, random, Control L, hide, and then eventually we'll stop, so don't worry, we're not going to go until the very last bar. But, you know, just have a bit of fun, sort of experiment, but don't go crazy. And another thing is, if you move these like too far that way, then they're going to start, you know, when we unhide the rest of the bars, they're going to start overlapping and clipping, because I had to manually go in and change at least 20 bars because they were doing that. So that was fun. Okay, so if we yeah, sort of make sure they're like that, then that's okay. Okay. Deselect, and I think this will be the last batch. And it's, you know, no one's gonna sit there and point out which ones look the same, and if they do, then, you know, congratulations to them. What are they proving? Okay, so there we go, that's about it. Let's unhide the rest of them, and there we go. So we've got some bars that are missing, we've got some that are bent, and we've got some that are just completely fine. Okay, so that's pretty cool. As for the broken off bars, we'll get back to them later. Oh no, is it time to... No, let's... Should we do the ceiling now? I think we should probably do the ceiling now, and then we'll do the floor and the mess. The ivy's coming later though, so, you know, don't expect that this video. So as you can see, the ceiling is quite a complex shape. We've got some lights, these rafters, is that what they're called? The beams and the beams attached to them and whatever. So it's actually fairly simple making the ceiling. The original reference image had way more rafters, and the ceiling was more, you know, complicated than this, and I found a pretty budget way, well, budget, is that the right word, you know, basic kind of cheap, lazy way of coming up with this effect, which looks good, but it's useless. Well, I mean, not useless, but it's not, you know, exactly the most technically advanced thing we're doing. If we just select all these edges, like I just have now, go to edge select mode, right click, hold shift, right click on the other ones, press W and go to bevel, which is right there. We can just bevel these edges, and then if we extrude them, like down a little bit, like that or something, okay, then give this ceiling an edge split modifier. Did we unwrap this, by the way? I don't know, did we? Did we unwrap this? If not, then just click on unwrap. I mean, in fact, you know what, it might be a bit easier if we just chop off these faces at the sides here, these little ones that we made with the extrusions. They're going to get annoying. I didn't do it for the original. I don't know how I unwrapped this for the original, probably just an edge loop or something, probably, I don't know. Unwrap this again though, and we should get something a bit more straightened out like that. So that's perfect. Okay, so what that's done is it's got this effect with the little beams coming down, and the horizontal beams are even simpler. Just watch actually, if we just click over here and add in a cube, stretch this cube out a lot, and then just remove the faces at this end and that end. Delete that. If we just press Ctrl L. In fact, before we get on with these bits of up in the roof, let's just get these bits sorted out, because these smaller bits are just thinner versions of the big beams. Okay, so if we just scale this down and maybe make it a bit longer, move it in. We've got clipping on, so they should all just merge up with each other, so that's fine. Make them smaller, pull them out a bit. Make them a bit bigger because these are the big beams that we're working on. Okay. And then just drag them off down here to the front. And if we press P and hit selection, then we got this as its own separate object, so we can apply an array here. And while we're here, we may as well just unwrap these. Control E, mark seam, unwrap. It should come out as something like that. That's okay. If we now add in an array, then go not that way. If we just maybe push it up by 10, that's nowhere near enough. 30. Alright, 30 seems okay. If we just plop in a few of those, put it back a little bit like that. Then we've got some of these beams. We could probably do with maybe a total of 7. Okay, there we go. If we maybe make them a bit fatter, so press S and Shift X. There we go. And pull them back. Should we have one right up at the end, or should we... no, we'll just bring it back over here. Okay, so we've got something like that, and that's perfect. Now we need is to duplicate this shape. Press S, Shift X to make it thinner, and rotate it. Sort of just bring it up to like a roundabout here. And sort of just drag this bit down, and if you want to, you could add loop cuts here and like sort of squish it up against the ceiling, but I didn't do that. But in fact, what we actually probably do want to ensure is, in fact, if we turn off clipping, just drag this out like that, we can probably just have it scrape along the top of the roof like this. And maybe, I think that's a bit too thin as well. If we just press Alt S with this selected, which I don't know if I explained this to you last tutorial, but basically what it does is it scales things up on the normals. Well, I think if we set this to median point, it might work a bit better, because apparently, there we go, median point works. Alright, cool. That's wonderful. Let me shrink it a little bit because it's kind of affecting the array. Somewhere around there should work. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just to put it up by the roof. And if you need to, you can just drag the bottom edge of this down a little bit. Alright, and what that's done is it's sort of made this kind of effect. And as you can see, they're not joining up in the middle, but that's okay. We've got this one extra bar that goes down the middle that's connected to the lights. Oh wait, have we? I thought we had. Maybe not. Fascinating. Okay, with this, turns out what we did, I didn't even notice this myself, was we just had it sort of join up at the top like that. And then we just had lights of, actually yeah, that works. That works a lot nice. I actually like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. I did have a cube going down the middle here, but then I thought this looked way cooler, so I stuck with this. Okay. So if we just select this again, duplicate it, rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees. Then we got something stupid like that. If we just rotate it a bit more, should have made it 135 degrees, I think is probably what we used in the end. Just grab them, bring them into there, so we'll just have them like that or something. And there you go. We got this kind of thing going on in the rafters. If we just push that in a bit nicely, nicer. There we go. Alright, we've got some nice technical shapes going on up there. So that's pretty cool. As for these lamps, the only reason why they're actually here is because they did serve a purpose. Because in my, I think I've shown you what folder's open, don't trust it. Oh, that's safe. Not that there's anything unsafe, it's just I've got a folder full of weird stuff I find on the internet and I just didn't want that to be seen. So, it's nothing too weird, don't worry. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, the lights did serve a purpose back in the disgusting original render, but I think I got rid of them by render 3, so you know. But then they're all shiny, and then as time goes on they get grunge textures and whatever, so. Okay, so the lights did serve a purpose. Minimizing blender, not good. Okay, so lights were the easiest thing to make. What's this still doing? Oh, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? We'll just use this layer anyway. Yeah, so for the lights, UV sphere, default settings, whatever. Don't even remember what settings I used for these, are so insignificant. If we just take off the vertices, and did I squish them down? Yeah, squish them down a bit. Just press SZ and use the 3D cursor as put the cursor in the center by pressing Shift S, cursor to center. Then use this thing, 3D cursor, and just squish it like that by pressing SZ. Just yeah, and let's move it to about there. Extrude it in a little bit at the base like that, so we'll get the whole depth look going on. And then I think I actually used a different sphere. Yeah, let's add in a different sphere, scale it down so that it sort of fits in like that, and then just squish it even more than the original one, so it's like almost flat like that, and then just delete the top half of it. Oh, that's going to be difficult. No, it's not. Just select the outer shell of the lamp thing, the lamp shade, whatever. Press Ctrl L to select all of it, then hide it. Just select the top of this stuff and click delete faces. Okay, unhide, and how would we unwrap this? Well, with the bottom bit, it was just a case of clicking unwrap, and that worked pretty well. Could this work with that? Probably. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So that's the lamp done, and let's just give this an edge split just to make it look like we tried. And just the angle a bit. There we go. And let's move this back into layer 1. And let's see, what sort of array did we give this? Not a very good array. Ooh, almost minimized blender then, not good. Okay. Right, so. Okay, if we just move this up to here, sort of like in the middle, oh, and set the pivot point to the median point again. Make this a bit smaller because it's a bit big at the minute. Just push it right up into the ceiling. I didn't have it dangling off a chain or anything fancy like that. So yeah, just have it in the ceiling. Okay, sort of just directly in between these rafters will work fine. And I'm just going to add in, oh, actually, first of all, let's just give these the materials. We've already got the lampshade selected. If we just go to new and call this lamp shade sign, and then Control I, and we'll call this lamp glass. Okay, and then just assign that. Sorry about that, it's just, you know, we're not doing the materials yet, we can just assign them and unwrap things, but the actual making of the materials has come in later. This is just to save time. Okay, so over here if we add in an array, you know the drill by now, considering every single thing we've done so far has just been arrays. Just, you know what we're doing. Just do whatever you want, really. You know, I'm just gonna have maybe 4, and just have them spread out like, you know, like lights do their thing. Just do, yeah. 3. Should we go with 3? I'm gonna go with 3. How do you get this There's always one that's going to be caught in the rafter. Okay, let's have 4 and just, yeah, go with it. I mean, it might, yeah, we got one sort of back there. It's okay. Is that one in the rafter? Oh no, perspective and stuff. Alright, so that's the ceiling done. One last bit. No, 2 last bits, I think. Yeah, go for 3. 3 bits we got left. They're all, other than the floor, they're all pretty simple. If we select the railings here on the, well, the railings, the cylindrical bits on the railing, so these bits. If we go into edit mode and add in just a bunch of loop cuts, so maybe 1 for each post. How many posts are there first of all? 1, 2, oh, just count the array, can't we? 12 minus, no, plus 1 for the, oh yeah, we've got some stuff on these to do as well. Okay, well if we do this bit first, it should be easier. Duplicate these and just move them off to that layer that we got just for the duplicates. We're going to end up just rebuilding the entire prison over here, but hey. Alright, so yeah, once you got that, has this got the railing material? It has, good. Okay. Apply the, ooh, which array? This one. Yep, okay, and the second one. Oh yeah, basically don't apply the mirror. Okay, apply both the arrays. As you can see, over here we've got this thing where this railing is kind of getting in the way of the stairs. Well, it was in the first one, apparently in this one it's not doing anything at all, but if we just delete that, then that would be cool. And then we can just bring this railing back, or this cylinder part of the railing, just squish that into, wait, is that? These are outside of the railings, oh god, okay. Push them back in. Make sure they're inside. Okay. Cool. Oh, we're going to need to apply the array on this as well. Yeah, just... Oh, wait, which array was that? That was the... No. Keep the first array, just apply the second? No, we can't really do that, can we? Apply both arrays, just go for it, do whatever. And then we can just have this one at the top just go back to its home up there. Just extend out that little bit more. And there you go, what that's done is it's just made room for the stairs. Alright, cool. So yeah, with these cylinder things, if we just... Oh, we now need to add the loop cuts to all of them, don't we? Okay, just, yeah, adding just a bunch of loop cuts, doesn't really matter how much, it's barely going to make any difference. Just fill, in fact, actually, yeah, random amounts of loop cuts is probably for the best. Because it, you know, more random. Because in my original, I was a bit lazy, and as you can see, these are all sort of following the same path. And I thought maybe the excuse is it's not these railings, it's the bits they're attached to, sort of dropping at their own different rates as the concrete decays, and it's just dragging the railings down. But it's actually just because I couldn't be bothered. So, we can probably just do that thing that we did with the prison bars. See, amount of, yeah, that's not going to work. Normal. Nope, of course not. Nope, we're screwed. Okay. If we just, at random, just select edge loops, then I guess that's going to be cool. And I guess, you know, we'd be very lucky if we found some flawless strategy to just get through all of this without doing anything tedious. So the fact all you have to do is select a few edge loops is still a pretty good result. Alright, so just move them up, then go around selecting more edge loops, just at random, you know, just select those two, both of them. Probably best to get a few of these ones sorted out. I think I moved the other ones a bit too much, but yeah, just move them subtly, okay, and just drag them down, like so. And then anything that's just too wonky, like this bit, you can just adjust that by hand. Well, we've already done everything by hand, but you know what I mean. Just give it some special treatment. Okay, and this bit is not looking good. So there we go, maybe fix up that. Alright, that's cool, the railings are now all bent, they're looking good. Okay. One last... Oh no, two more things that we got to do. First of all, you can't really see... Oh, you can see this one. In this... I hate this cell, because for some reason you cannot see the floor and the wall looks horrible. But yeah, so yeah, you can see we've got some chairs going on in here. Tiny little details. It's just something someone suggested, and I thought, yeah, why not? So just little chairs, and these are, you know, nothing too fancy about these chairs. Let me just show you how to make a chair. We're going to add mesh and go down to cube. Okay, cool. Just checking it's still recording. And then in edit mode, it's going to squish that down. And then we're going to add another loop cut and extrude this up like so. And then we're going to add in another cube. That's what we're going to do. And scale this down on everything but the z-axis. Just move this over here, and there you go. You got one chair leg. And check out this. We're going to duplicate this one over like so. And then we're going to select both of these legs at once and just duplicate them down. Now, you know, I know some of you are going to just, out of just, you know, principle, use a mirror modifier. And, you know, go for it. It's more realistic. This is lazy, but no one's gonna notice. And like I say, if someone does, you know, get out their pens and pencils and rulers and measure it all up, then good for them. So let's just bring this back into. In fact, actually no, I think I kept the chairs originally on their own little layer, but I never went back to them because, you know, they're chairs. I don't even... Did I even... Oh, I think I probably forgot to give them materials. Oh, no, I probably gave materials at the time I made them. It's just give them the chair material, and we might get around to giving them an actual thing. If they stand out too much, then yeah. But anyway, we're just going to blob in a chair. That's way too small. Wait, is it? How big should the chair be? Well, that's... Wait, how much is a blender unit? Oh god, we've lost... here we go, blender units. Right. That is the size of... That is now the size of the chair. If... That is, yeah, that looks alright. It's just, yeah, put them in the cells, and I think I just manually place these around. Just occasionally just throw in a chair in a cell. Like so. Not necessarily every other cell, but just, you know, some cells get chairs, some cells don't. It's prison. Oh, you can also change the rotation so they're facing different ways. That's pretty cool. Little trick I picked up from... I don't even know. Oh, the chair was levitating. Okay, the chair in there must also be levitating. It was. Okay, move that chair somewhere where it can be seen. Otherwise, it's a waste of render time. Chairs, just throw them in. Okay, that's enough chairs. Don't bother with these upstairs cells. Will they be visible? Barely. Alright, you can throw them in the upstairs cells. Why not? Just, you know, rotate them every now and then. And then, just because variation, we're gonna grab one of these chairs, flip it on its side, because nature picked on this chair, and just have it sort of sticking out the cell door like that. Alright, cool. We gotta do the other side. I don't want to. I don't think I did in the original, but okay, let's do this. Get your chair. Where are the chairs? There's one. Eventually it will select. There we go. Ooh. Oh, I got into Skyrim mode. Perfect. Right. Out of that. Okay, duplicate the chair. Put it in a cell. Rotate it. You can throw one of these chairs over as well if you want, but you know. Oh look, we can't see any of them. Perfect. Oh, I know, we can see the bit of that one. Alright, yeah, I don't think we're going to see the chair. I think that might have been one reason why I didn't include it. Unless you've got them at like this front cell or something. Eventually, where is it? There we go, down here. unless you chuck it in one of these front cells, then you're not gonna see it. And you know, it's not like they need to make an appearance. Like, come on, they're just chairs. So there you go, that's the chairs done. On to the ground. Now, don't worry about all these cracks. I think I already said this at the beginning. You know, all these cracks, puddles, bumps. All of these are going to be done in the materials. This floor has just got one material, and all of this detaily stuff is covered by that. Although it does have a particle system for, you know, bent bits and pieces and broken glass, and rat droppings was one suggestion, and it actually works pretty well. I've got a few rocks as well. I don't think you can see the rat poo from here. And there's one. There's another. Yeah, so just bits of crap just thrown on the floor just to make it look dirty. So fairly simple, and this is where Mr. Bar comes back for his grand return. If we go to Object, Transform, Origin to Geometry, and then press Alt G, we can just center this guy. Alright, what are we going to do with this? Okay, if we bend it, that's all we can do really. Just bend it, duplicate it. We're going to make some variations of the bend, because in my original, well, not my original, but in one of my sort of pre-complete renders, someone said, you know, it was pretty obvious it's just the same bar, and make more variations of it and whatever else. So, you know, you can't go too extreme. Well, we're going to go extreme on one bar, but that's because, you know, variation. But yeah, so just give it subtle bends. That bar can stay how it is, actually, that's alright. But you know, just little shapes, little what's the word? Indentations. Wait, no, that's not the word. You can just bend it. Who cares about the word? Okay. That's looking good. Push that in there. Okay, 3 bars works. Cool. Maybe let's make one more that's just some psycho bar that's just been completely smashed up, like that or something. Nah, actually it's 2. Because one thing about these particle systems is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you have like a particle group of like the same object, what can happen is you've made variations to it, but one of them's like too out there, is too dissimilar, like it's got a really distinct feature. Like imagine if you had trees, for example. You're making a big project, you've got trees everywhere, you use a particle system. If one of them is like 10 feet taller than the other, that one's going to stand out, and it's going to be obvious it's being repeated because it's 10 feet taller than the other trees. But if you make them all the same height, you know, then you're not going to spot the difference too well. So don't make something too crazy. Just, you know, keep them kind of similar, so that no one notices, you know, too much difference, but don't make them too similar, because otherwise people spot it's just the same thing over and over again, and that's also bad. Alright, there you go. So these aren't unwrapped apparently, so let's unwrap them. Oh wait, all the bars on the things are unwrapped, right? Ah, okay, good. Thank you. That was scary. Okay. We come over here. We can unwrap these. You know, this is just 3 bars. This is okay. You can Control E, mark seam on these edge loops. Ooh. Alt, that's the key, isn't it? There we go. Mark seam and mark seam. Unwrap. Oh, wait. Have these already just unwrapped? Oh, wait. What? Have they just unwrapped themselves, or was I? Oh, they already were unwrapped. What? Okay, just yeah, whatever. Okay, now I've got to clear the seam. Clear seam, and unwrap again. May as well unwrap this guy again. And you will. Okay, my eyes have just gone. Clearly, I thought that was weird because I remember unwrapping them. Alright, so that's cool. So they're the bars that are going to be thrown about on the floor. Next up is the rat droppings. Fairly simple. We just add in a cube, give it a little subsurfy modifier, and then it was, you know, just a little blob, you know, just poo shaped ish. I mean, these things are going to be tiny, like, you know, literally that small. Because, you know, it's a rat. How much is it going to poo? And, you know, I sort of thought, like, you know, I did consider adding rat droppings before someone else suggested it. And the only reason why I didn't is I thought they'd be too small, they're just not going to be noticed. But they do actually make, you know, little appearances here, and very little appearances here and there. You can spot them, especially the ones that are close up. So it does add a bit of an effect, so, you know, it could be worth it. Or it was worth it in the end, I think. There you go, there's your rat poo. What else did I have? Oh, I had some rocks. And, you know, the rocks I used in the end weren't that great. So I'm just going to make them a bit more simplified than what they were. Originally they were like all, you know, sub-surfed and whatever, but we're just going to get a little cube like this, just squish it down, maybe subdivide it once actually, that's not going to cause a problem, and then just increase the fractal amount like so, and I'll just make it a bit crazy and squish it a little bit, maybe like that. There you go, little rock, nice, cool. If we just select the edge loop here and scale it down on the z-axis by, well, to 0, and then we can just rotate this by 90 on the y-axis. In fact, everything needs to be rotated on the, other than these are cool, these bars. Although this one could do with some rotation on the z-axis. Basically, you want them to be in line with the z-axis because of the simple fact that if they're not, then you're screwed, because the way these things sort of work is you want them to be like sort of on the z-axis with the little blue dot. Yeah, the way these work is if they're not in line with this, then they're going to not work with the particle, but I mean they're going to work, but they're not going to appear correctly at all. So just get like its straightest edge and just get it in line with the z-axis with where this little blue dot appears on all of them. Okay. Right. I also had bits of broken glass. Were they visible? You know what? They kind of were. I'm thinking about adding them back in again. Alright, yeah, what harm could I do? Bits of broken glass. Easy. Plane. Check this out. You subdivide it a bit. Oh, fractal. Perfect. We can probably fractalize. Fractalize? Is that a word? I don't know. We're going to go crazy with this and scale it down a bit on the z-axis. That's too crazy. Smooth shading, sure, why not? Solidify. Solidify modifier is what we need. And that is there. Okay, recalculate normals because apparently. Oh, wait, no. It's just. Alright, maybe we need to flip these normals. What is going on there? Okay, let's look at the normal. Okay, the normals are good, it's just the solidify modifier is not good. Why? Sure, whatever. I mean, because these are going to be scaled down a lot, this sort of thickness is okay. I mean, you know, one thing people usually get wrong with glass is they think that it's going to be like some double glazed window thickness, which would be somewhere like that, and they end up with just these big chunks of like Lego, this shiny reflective Lego on the floor, when really glass is really thin. It's like, you know, if this is just, imagine this being like a proper pane of glass, glass would actually be like that thick. It's tiny stuff, so, but you know, because it's going to be shrunk down a lot, then we can go for a size like this, so that's okay. And this is going to be given the broken glass material. That's the point of what materials we've got in here. Bars, good. This can be given rock. And the rat poo can be given rat poo. Nice stuff. That's the point. This one needs to be also sorted out along with the blue line thing. And rotate. Ooh, how am I gonna? Actually, no, that's all rotation's fine, I think. Okay, so now what we need to do is just add these all to this one group by selecting all of them, Oh, actually we need to make more variations of this glass. Hold on. Just go into vertex select and just change its shape a little bit. Something like that. Whatever. One more? Yeah, one more. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, cool. If we just select everything now and press Control G, we can throw them into a group, and the outline should go green, and that's how you know it's in a group. We're going to call this group floor clutter. That's the word, it's better than the word I used for my original. Okay, if we now select the floor, add in a particle system, set this to hair, you can see that we now got hair growing everywhere, and that's not great. So if we click on advanced, come down to render, set this from path to group, set the group to floor clutter. And oh right, okay, so as you can see, everything's a bit wrong. The bars are as big as the glass, and the glass is standing up, and the reason why the glass is standing up is because I didn't rotate them properly. If we rotate them on the y-axis by 90, and then in edit mode we can actually they're pretty good for edit mode stuff. Alright, cool, that should have fixed it. You should have fixed it. Why didn't it fix it? Oh, wait, which one's the y-axis? No, that should have... Oh, right, yeah. The reason why I didn't fix it is because we need to click on rotation. Cool stuff. Let's make the glass smaller. I sort of forgot that it's still going to be in proportion to stuff. Like, you know, I mean, they're going to be given a different size, but they're still going to be in proportion to the other objects in the group. Same with the rocks, actually. We need to make them tiny. The rat droppings need to be pretty tiny. Actually, the glass can be a bit bigger. Yeah, the rock needs to be small. Yeah, cool. Let's just go over here. And we can adjust the size. And the best way to sort of compare the sizes, these bars need to be as big as the bars on the cells. Otherwise, these are just random bars that just appeared out of nowhere. So if we just increase the size to there, we can increase the random size, but beware of the bars sort of getting too small. Okay, this is mainly for like the rocks and whatever. If we go to rotation, which is here, we can adjust its rotation, but we can also change the random amount, which will choose just how many is just randomly rotated. Sorry about that, my voice is dying a bit. In fact, 1 second while I get a drink. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Right, so yeah, alright, yeah. So we've got way too many bars compared to the amount of rat droppings and bits of broken glass and whatever that should be here. Oh, and rocks. So, what we're going to do, and also actually I might just change the bars because they look like noodles. But we'll see how we feel when we've got less of them. Okay, so what we're going to do is with the particle system, if we come down to render, as you can see, we've got a few bits and pieces. We got whole group, which means it's gonna for every hair particle it's just gonna give you the entire group. We've also got pick random and use count, and I don't know why pick random lets it work with use count, because I think what pick random does is normally like we got 1,000 particles and we got how many things in the group. Too many things. Let's just say, in fact, let's make it easy. Let's say there's 5 things in the group. There's more than that, but let's say there's 5. Because there's 1,000 things here, it's gonna get 1,000 divided by 5, which is 200, and then it's gonna be 200 bars. Well, 200 of each bar, 200 rocks, 200 rat droppings, 200 bits of all the different glass. It's gonna be evenly distributed without this pick random thing. But when you turn on pick random, what it's gonna do is it's just gonna say, you know, just any number of anything, just go for it, just throw in whatever you got. I mean, I think that's how it works, but yeah, pick objects from group randomly. And then you got use count, which completely overthrows the pick random thing, as far as I'm aware. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're not going to use pick random. I thought I'd just tell you what it is, just in case you want to, because you can if you want, but I think you're still going to end up with too many bars or whatever. So, oh great, this is useful. as you can see, it's just giving us all the names of the objects. We haven't got, I mean, actually, you might, if you've named them, this is all gonna make sense, but to me, I cannot understand this. So let's just go to the objects that we have in the group, and let's name them. So this will be bar 1, bar 2, and bar 3. Cool. And this is rat poo, because I can't be bothered to spell droppings today. This will be rock, and this will be glass 1, glass 2, and glass 3. Okay, I think that's all of it. If we come back over to the scene, as you can see, everything is now named. So the things we want the least of is the bars, obviously. So if we just leave that at 1, then that's going to be fine. Let's also just see if we can drag this out a little bit. Okay, cool. The glass and the rat poo is what we want a lot of, and the rocks. So if we have maybe 10 of each type of glass, as you can see, everything else is just rapidly going down. So that's cool. Rocks, we want 10 of them as well, actually. And rat poo, we're going to go for 30. Alright. We got a lot of stuff appearing now, and we're going to just go for maybe 2,000, actually I think we're for 3,000 in the end, 3,000 particles. So, you know, we got loads of rocks, bits of glass, the rat droppings as well. You can see the little bits that are showing up there. So there you go. That's the floor mess. Simple as that. One thing that can help is if you click on random, then what that will do is, I mean, you can't, it's pretty difficult to see when you're using objects, but when you've got hair, without clicking random, they're going to be sort of like in this tight, like really tight grid kind of layout, like they're going to be laid out just in rows and columns and whatever. If you tick random, then they're not going to be like laid out at all. Well, they're just going to be in a whatever. And also, if you don't like the sort of arrangement you got, you can always change the seed. Although I think seed 1 looked pretty good because, or seed 0, whatever we were on. And the reason being is a lot of these bars are like appearing by the cells sort of laid out on their side, and originally I did that by hand. Like all the bars that were missing, I would rotate them and sort of just place them on the floor around, and on the balconies around the like the floor, sorry, around the doors, so you know it looked like they'd fallen over. And the only reason why I didn't this time is because like, you can see there's only like, in the final render there's maybe 2 bars that are noticeable, and that's, oh, you got a few, there's that one, that one, that one, and that one. When in actual fact there were way more than that, and I have literally no idea where they've gone. There's a few up there, they're all covered by ivy. It's just, you know, not noticeable, and they look kind of weird in the 3D viewport, them just being lined up like that. But yeah, overall I think we did a pretty good job. Are the bars the right size though? I don't actually think they are, so I'm just going to increase the size a bit more. This could screw everything up, but that looks about right. The rocks are getting a bit full of themselves, so I'm just going to make them a bit smaller. Wait, was it the rock? I think it was a rock, yeah. Look, oh, and the glass. Just make the glass and the rock just way smaller than what they are. What axes? There we go. Y-axis just move them a bit closer. So just all the bits and pieces. It doesn't really matter what your pivot point is, just as long as they're made, you know, smaller. Then we come back over here, and they should be tiny. Good. Maybe make them a bit bigger than the rat poo though. There we go. Cool stuff. Come back to. Wait, where's my layers gone? How do I get back? What? Where? Hold on. There was a little thing down here that you click on to move. Where? Oh, wait, hold on. Where's... How do I... Oh, it's because I'm in edit mode, apparently. Sorry about that. I sort of panicked. I couldn't find this thing. Here we go. Sorry, I'm tired. Oh, God, look, it's past midnight. I've got school. I'm waking up at 7:30 in the morning. Okay. Yeah, we're done here for this part. Not because I have to go, it's because that was actually the last thing we had to do. So thanks for watching. I'm hoping... Oh! No, we're not done. We are not done. Sorry. this is easy though, don't worry. I'm just going to select the edge loops around the windows, press Shift D to duplicate them, press P, hit selection, and that way it's its own separate thing. The only reason why I did that is because the wall is already unwrapped and we may as well. So we're just going to extrude this out, hit E, extrude this in a little bit. Oh, with their individual origins selected. Okay, extrude them in. We can probably use better from camera view. And then just scale them up so they sort of look, you know, like an even width apart or even distance from the edge. And you can extrude them back, although I don't think you're going to see the results too well. I mean, yeah, you can, but when we have the light shining through, it's not going to make a difference. And we're going to have some bars on the window, so to do that, you probably figured it out. We're just going to grab this bar right here and take it out of the group. To do that, you just come over and click on this X, so it's out of that group. And then what we do is bring it to layer 1 and rotate it. And just bring it back over here. And what we're going to do is just... Oh, strange. There we go. Just duplicate it down a little bit. Just, you know, maybe miss a bar every now and then. Sort of space them out as randomly as you want. It doesn't really matter. Duplicate this across. And then just maybe remove that bar and move that up there or something. And there we go. And there were vertical bars. I mean, this isn't going to make much of a difference because the light coming through the window sort of screwed up any chances. So if we just go to median point, let's get rid of all but 3 of these. So something like that. Just move that over. And okay, so push them out because really these bars should be outside of the prison, because otherwise, you know, any prisoner could just jump off this staircase and just grab onto the bars and just like climb out. I mean, that's one of the perks of having horizontal bars. It is basically a ladder. So at least have it on the outside of the prisons or something like that. Don't worry that they're all wonky and whatever. Like I say, the light's going to be shining through. In the original, here we go. You can't see that there were. Oh, you can see that the top bars there, and maybe the second a little bit. You can't see the ones at the bottom. So, okay. So yeah, that's the end of part 2 now. No, it isn't. We just need to add materials to this. These. Oh no, I've already got them. It's just this thing. This bit here. We're going to give it, and this bit. We're going to give it the cell frame. What material is that? Yeah, we're going to give it the cell frame material. Okay, now we're done. So, sorry about all the changing my mind about whether or not we're done, but now we are done. So thanks for watching. I'm hoping so far you're coping with it. I mean, so far it's been pretty easy, just modelling. It's the array modifiers, basically it. In the next part we'll be getting on with the shading. I think we might have 2 or 3 parts on the shaders because we've got a lot of stuff to do. And then after that we'll do the IV and then the rendering. So we're, this is pretty much the halfway point. It's just the next bits just take a while. So yeah, we're doing well. This is looking like it's gonna be just as good as the original. So yeah, I'll see you in the next part. Like always, if you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. If you want to have a go at me because I didn't explain to you a shortcut key, then go for it. Although one thing is screencast keys, they've stopped development for that, so I have an excuse to not use it now. The only reason why I didn't use it in the first place is because I kept forgetting. So anyway, that's that. I'll see you in the next tutorial. So thanks for watching and goodbye.